Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today, like I promised, I said I would do a reasoning behind my Caroline Kennedy versus Donald Trump versus Evan McMullin calls in specific states. Um, so yeah, I'm just going to go through that now as to why I called each state for each candidate and why it ultimately went up to the House and the Senate to decide the presidency and the vice presidency. So I'm going to go through that now. Upcoming, like I said, I'm going to have Mark Cuban versus Donald Trump and some other candidates, and then we're going to move into 2024. My channel's been growing at a slower rate for some reason. I'm assuming it's because of school, but my view count has been increasing daily, but it's not correlating with the subscriber count, which is fine completely by me. I mean, it's just on my social blade, I was looking at it, and then it dropped, and I was wondering what it was. And then I was just looking through it, and then it said that some of my subscribers respond later than my videos uploaded compared to when they did in July or the beginning of August. So I'm assuming it's part of school. Either way, I'm completely fine with it. I was just pointing it out. So yeah, again, like before, comment notification squad if you come to this video early, or any video early, or you just commented because you want to comment it. Uh, so yeah, this is just going to be a reason why I made specific calls for specific candidates. Of course, President Trump will be in red, Caroline Kennedy will be in blue, and Evan McMullin will be in yellow. I'm pretty sure you've all seen the election night. If you haven't, the video will be the one uploaded. The video uploaded before my John Kasich versus Donald Trump video. It's just 2020 election night between Caroline Kennedy and Donald Trump. It's pretty easy to find. So if you haven't seen that, you should go watch that and come back to this video and see the reasoning why I made specific state calls. So yeah, I think I have an issue here in the state of Maine. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this part got cut out. The congressional district part that you normally would call for specific candidates. So just don't mind that. I'll explain. I'll just go through it and explain the error at the end. So of course the West Coast states would definitely go to Caroline Kennedy. These are solid Republican, solid Democrat states. All the solid Republican states I'm going to go through now. It's weird having to click 3 times for Republicans. In Nebraska, the Nebraska's 2nd congressional district calls because I really don't think Caroline Kennedy can appeal to the Midwest the same way like a huge change candidate like Barack Obama did. Caroline Kennedy may have the Hillary Clinton advantage that Hillary Clinton had in the state of Nebraska. She almost won the 2nd congressional district, but she didn't, and that's mainly because she wasn't baggage free. Although Caroline Kennedy may be baggage free, she's another Obama. She was appointed under Obama, and she may be perceived as someone who would continue his legacy, like Hillary Clinton was. And the American people spoke clearly. They don't want 4 years of the same. So yeah, we're gonna keep going through this. Ohio went to Trump. The reasoning behind that is because he won Ohio by such a big margin in 2016. However, Utah was a different situation because Evan McMullin's popularity has been growing in Utah. The Mormon population is growing away from President Trump. If you see the approval ratings in Utah, it's not as high as it should be for a Republican, especially for a Republican in the White House. I mean, Utah never has a chance of going blue, except for in 2016 because of Evan McMullin. And I think that this election season in 2020, if Caroline Kennedy ran, I think it would be another lesser of two evils type situation, except I think that third-party candidates will have a lot more votes because of a bigger anti-Trump wave. Democrats are gaining traction in key swing states, especially in House races, and if you're denying that they aren't, I mean, that's really denial. The president always loses seats during midterms, with the exception in 2002. There's literally 0 to none chance that President Trump won't lose seats, especially with a huge energized base. You're saying that liberals aren't energized. Well, I mean, they've come out to protest in numbers that the Tea Party had coming out and voting. So if the Tea Party started with thousands of people, the liberal movement started with millions of people against the president. The Tea Party started out with thousands of people against the president. It slowly built its way up, and special elections are not at all an indicator of what will happen in midterms. Democrats took all 5 of the special elections and yet lost midterms by such a huge margin. So yeah, so let's just I'm getting off topic. Iowa, I called for him again, a huge margin. These 2 swing states, I do not see Caroline Kennedy flipping. Someone commented below before that Florida they think will be closer than I put it, but I think that Trump will win it by 2 points. I think he'll expand on his lead than in 2016, just because of the fact that I think the vote there from the minorities won't be out like the same way they were for Obama, and then I don't think that I think she may rebound a little bit with some of the Southern voters, like the older generations, senior citizens, but I don't think that Latinos will come out the same way they did for Hillary Clinton, because she was a somewhat inspiring candidate to the Democrats, just not the Bernie side of the political spectrum. I don't think Caroline Kennedy can appeal really as someone spontaneous and energetic, the same way Hillary Clinton couldn't. Illinois, safe blue, of course. Minnesota, I gave to Caroline Kennedy because I think she would hold on to that. I think she would flip back Michigan and Pennsylvania. Hear me out on this one. I think she would flip back Michigan because of the fact that it barely went for Trump, only by 10,000 votes in a state as huge as itself. And in Pennsylvania, he only won it by 43,000 votes. And I think if Caroline Kennedy can pick up some of the voters who, because she can afford to lose all the anti-Obama voters, though Obama voters from 2008 and 2012 who voted for Trump in 2016. She just needs to make ground on independents and people that don't want scandals in the White House, and I think she'll be able to flip some of those, considering she has no scandals behind her. She can afford to lose the hate Obama voters or the I'm tired of Obama voters, but she can't afford to lose the independents. But I'm giving that one to her because I think she'll be able to take that. Virginia is trending more Democratic every election year. I'm going to give that one to her. You know why I'm giving her the Northeast. It's solid Democratic territory. Vermont, again, solid Democratic territory. Ignore this call in Maine. One electoral vote should go to Donald Trump. So if the final count will end up being 263, but it should be 264. So just keep that in mind. Either way, neither candidate will reach 270 just by this error. I think Caroline Kennedy, of course, would take her home state, and then I think she would hold on to New Hampshire for electoral votes because Hillary Clinton could do it, and I think that Caroline Kennedy is a little bit stronger than Hillary Clinton, just not in the I think she'll do a little bit better than Hillary. I just don't think she'll be able to do a sweep like some people are predicting. Nevada, I think, would go to her. New Mexico would definitely, that one's going to be safe blue by 2024. Colorado, again, I think that one will be safe blue sometime in the future. And then Hawaii, I completely forgot about, sorry. Wisconsin, I'm going to give to Trump because he won it surprisingly in 2016. And I think that a lot of the Trump voters there, he's bringing a lot of jobs back to Wisconsin. I mean, he's done a lot of rallies in Wisconsin where he's focusing his key areas on the state of Wisconsin. I mean, he's held a lot of re-election rallies there and jobs rallies. So I think that they may perceive him as the candidate who kept their promises, but then we still have 3.5 years to go. Hey guys, I'm back. I just fixed the main call. The video ended abruptly at like 7 minutes and 56 seconds, and we were talking about Wisconsin. So, like I said, we have 3.5 years to go. Nothing's absolute yet, but now we're gonna go on to the final call, which is the call in Utah, which ultimately decides the presidential election. And yeah, I think that one will go to Evan McMullin. The reasoning behind it is Caroline Kennedy will be another Hillary Clinton, except for the fact that I think she'll get a little bit more votes. Just, I don't think she'll be able to do the same thing Hillary Clinton could do in Utah. I mean, a lot of Democrats came out because they actually felt their vote would count, and I think that with Evan McMullin taking away from the Republican vote, with prior polling, I'm assuming that would show McMullin ahead. I think that Evan McMullin would really just take away from half the conservative vote and split it, so Democrats would come out to vote. And since Caroline Kennedy doesn't have as many scandals, the Mormon population would never vote for Caroline Kennedy, so she would never win the state, but I think that Democrats would come out more than they did for Hillary Clinton. And the reasoning behind this is because Donald Trump is unfavored in Utah. He doesn't have a high approval rating. This is amongst a solid Republican state. They would go for someone who's a conservative, not necessarily just a Republican. Evan McMullin would be perceived as a better candidate than Donald Trump. Donald Trump is negatively viewed throughout the United States, and I think that Evan McMullin could play on that. I think the Mormon population would definitely will put Evan McMullin, especially since if it gets down to this close and Utah is the deciding factor and the media points to Utah, I think it'll definitely generate a lot of conservative votes for Evan McMullin, just for the chance that it would go to the House of Representatives, and then the House would possibly elect Evan McMullin under a Republican majority situation. But then again, the House would be split between President Trump and Evan McMullin, and Caroline Kennedy would come up as the victor because she would get the majority of votes because of the split. So that's pretty much my prediction map and why I did each call. I just want to thank you guys for watching. I reached 460 subscribers the other day. I wanted to thank you all for that. I'm hoping soon that I'll reach 500 subscribers before August 22nd, which is the anniversary of my 150 subscriber special. That I mean, I've just grown a whole lot since that, and I just want to thank you all for that. And I want you guys to comment suggestions. This was one of the suggestions that I got, Caroline Kennedy versus Donald Trump. And I included Evan McMullin because I thought it would make it a little more competitive for Republicans. And going through the data from 2016, before the Comey letter, McMullin was on his way to win Utah. After the Comey letter, a lot of Republicans came back and went to Utah and voted for Trump. So I just want you guys to comment suggestions. I love doing these videos. That's why I do them daily. I just did my John Kasich versus Donald Trump video. I'm thinking about doing Ben Sasse from Nebraska, a senator, versus Donald Trump in the year 2020 in a primary prediction with a couple other candidates. I'm going to use a chart where I can fill in more candidates, and I think that Republicans will have a much broader view than just the incumbent running against a nobody. I think that they're going to have a much broader selection than they did in 2016, conservative-wise and moderate Republican-wise. I think that with Trump's disapproval rating at this moment in time, where it stands now, I can definitely see a lot of Republicans going to challenge the incumbent. But then again, they would split the party vote, and President Trump would be renominated. And if President Trump was renominated or wasn't nominated, he might run as an independent to screw over the Republican Party. Who knows? So thank you all for watching. Again, comment suggestions, comment Notification Squad if you're early. My Patreon is in the description below. And again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.